I'm playing a Collings I35 LC Custom. What I've done on this guitar is take the I35 LC platform and added some refinements to it that I think bring the guitar up to a more vintagey kind of vibe and closer to what I consider a perfect kind of 335 instrument. I always feel that the I35, the Collings I35, is sort of a grown-up 335, meaning that all the little refinements that I always wanted on 335s, which I've had many, are here. Great fretwork, amazing neck, beautiful, beautiful sound, lightweight, intense and amazing playability on the guitar. Some of the things I'm doing on this model here is I start out basically with the I35 standard, and what I then do is add fingerboard binding, which the I35 doesn't come with. It's an option. So it sort of gets close to the 335 kind of thing. I also have Collings profile the neck based on a 63, 64 335 that I had. I don't remember if it was honestly a 63 or 64, but I bought it because it was just like Clapton's guitar, and so it really inspired me to really go towards that Clapton-y thing. So what I do in the neck is I have the neck profile reduced a bit. Collings tends to make their neck chunky in a good way, but it is more like a 59 335. What I do here is make it into that 64 kind of thing, which is sort of a smaller, slightly smaller neck. Certainly not an early 60s Gibson thing. It's not the wide, thin neck. It's more, it's beefier and more round. And it's got less shoulder than the Collings, and really, really beautifully carved, really profiled nicely. And I've had several of these come in, and anyone who's really played it is sort of really bonded very easily with it. I think they're really incredible. So I do that. Also, I upgrade it to throwback 101's pickups, which to me are more touch sensitive than the Lollar pickups. Though Lollars are great, these I find to be just an added touch sensitivity, more power, and still maintain a lot of the vintage vibe. I actually got to hear the throwbacks originally in Gustafson guitars and fell in love with them. So I figured, let me just upgrade, and it is an upgrade, the Collings platform here. So it just gets a little bit more of the heart, that spine of the guitar. I also add a pickguard to the guitar, and on top of all that, I have Collings. I had to match the color as close as I could get to a picture of Clapton's 335 that he used to play with Cream. So they really, really got just the right amount of orange in the red, in that faded red. It's really nice. The other thing I did here was I had them do their new aging process. And basically, it's a very light relic. There's crazing, finished crazing. It's not like worn in any areas as much as it's warmed in all the areas. It's really seductive feeling, and just, you know, pick it up at a case. It doesn't feel like that sort of sterile kind of thing that you get with a new guitar, that you have to actually impose all the wear and tear on it, which is fine, which is great. I love doing that. But on this model, I found that just getting little things like the yellowing of the binding, a little bit, you can't see it, crazing along the and yellowing along the binding, and just the warm kind of woody feeling to the guitar. It just adds that kind of magic that I like to get when I pick up a guitar, take it out of the case, and I feel like, oh, I've played this guitar for years. This sort of comes out of the box like that. The sounds on it are remarkable. I mean, this guitar can sort of do anything. And that's one of the things about the original 335 design that was done in the late 50s. It was really a guitar that was initially made for the jazz player who wanted to be a little more versatile. I remember when I was a kid, and my father had a music store, and I grew up in the 50s and 60s surrounded by guitars. And I remember you would have all these magazines around that were guitar magazines from the late 50s, and there was a picture of Johnny Smith, the jazz guy, playing a 1959 335, and when I still can picture that picture because it made me like, I kept opening the page constantly, and I was all of like 6, 7 years old when I did this, and I just fell in love and just was focused on this picture. I gotta have that guitar one day. And I ended up actually getting a 59 335, which I sold about 25 years ago for all of $2,500. So it's one of those guitars that sort of got away from me. But moving on, I've owned several of them, but it sort of was one of these things where I just couldn't bond with many of them. When I got the Collings 335, I35, I felt like just taking it one more step in these directions I just spoke about will bring it to life, will make it more enticing and inspiring to the player. And hopefully that does that. I mean, the people who have got them all seem to love them. This is the only way I've really been getting them now. It's a great guitar. You know, you have, this is the back pickup on the guitar, and I'm going through my Cornish pedal board, an SS3, and I just got this Cornish super flanger, which is pretty amazing. I mean, just unbelievable. And it's got all the Clapton-y thing you want. It definitely can do Carlton, Robin Ford. Just a wonderful, wonderful deep guitar in any of the sounds that I can come up with. Let's see. This is the middle position. It's really sweet. It plays everywhere in the neck perfectly. And I don't know, if I had to take one guitar in a gig that could do anything, this would certainly be in the top 5 guitars that I would take. It's at least that I own. And it's really amazing.